I know you're working on a story for this, but quarterback, what's going on? Give us some thoughts here.
Well, today was a busy quarterback day because he had a bunch of guys who are in the mix, right? Terry Fontenot, the GM for the Falcons, talked about Kirk Cousins. It sounds like they're going to pay that bonus, and he might not hit free. They might not cut him. They might wait for somebody to come trade him, or maybe they're actually going to hang on to him. Omar Khan from the Steelers is making decisions on Justin Fields and Russell Wilson. So the veteran quarterback market is going to heat up here soon. And then, of course, there's these two guys at the top of this draft that the Browns have an opportunity to maybe get. They're going to get to spend some time with those guys, get to know those guys. Probably not going to get to watch them work out, but that's all right. Get the medicals, all of that stuff. And then eventually, it feels like it's years away, but it's getting closer. It's going to be decision time.
And it's just been interesting. I don't really have a feel. Do you get a feel at all if they're locked into a quarterback at this point?
I don't. But I'm also in that mode of you don't believe anything that you hear at this point, right?
Yep.
I mean, I think it was last week Todd McShay came out and said they aren't going to take a quarterback. Then you have Adam Schefter today saying, well, they make sense for them to take a quarterback. So there's going to be a million smoke screens out there. I still sort of feel like, again, if they really like both of these guys or one of these two guys and they end up in an opportunity to take them, I think they'll understand that. And I think they will take either Cam Ward or Shedeur Sanders. I don't know who. I don't know if they're in love with either of these guys. But if you're sitting there at number 2 and you need a young quarterback, it just makes sense to do it.
Can you see them taking a quarterback early and late? I mean, the room's probably going to be completely redone. DTR might be back.
I would consider it, because you have so many picks. And when you think about like 4th-round picks, 5th-round picks, 6th-round picks, I mean, they took Nathaniel Watson, I think, in the 6th round last year. I don't know how many Browns fans even know who Nathaniel Watson is after he was actually on the roster for a year. So if you use that on a second quarterback, maybe a guy that offers a different skill set, maybe a guy that you can put in uniform on game day and come in and run around a little, do something different for a series or two, I'd be open to that. I think this team should try anything and everything at that position.
And the guy we were talking about, Kirk Cousins, was a second pick in a draft of Washington. It was RG3, Robert Griffin III, and then Kirk Cousins like the 4th round. So there's precedence. How much did the quarterback play, which was historically bad, skew everybody's view of this roster, do you think?
I think it was enormous. Now, are we talking 5 wins, 6 wins? I don't know about that, but I've often thought that 11-6 a couple years ago was probably an outlier. I think 3-14 was probably an outlier. I think the truth is probably more somewhere in the middle with all of this, and I think the fact that you get to Jameis Winston, right, and he's turning the ball over all the time. Dorian Thompson-Robinson, I think it's safe to say that he's probably not a quarterback in this league and definitely not a starter. And, of course, Deshaun Watson, just getting you off to that 1-6 start, playing some of the worst quarterback in the league. It's impossible to judge what this offense could have been. I don't know that this would have been a playoff team, but I don't think they were actually a 3-win team either.